This next tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to take you through how you can put a picture onto a wall, and then how you can edit the image that's on that picture frame to be a lot more in line with whatever the theme is you're trying to do. So this is the this file here is of the surf club down at Coolangatta. And so we're going to show you how we're going to put like a Quiksilver logo or something into a picture onto this wall here. So the first step is to go grab some images that you think might be suitable to put onto pictures for that particular theme or whatever theme you're working on. So what I did, I went to the internet and then I just made a folder. I made that folder inside my building construction drafting folder. I called it images for posters, and you can see I've added here a couple of images from the net, sorts of things you might see on the walls of a surf lifesaving club down at Rainbow Bay. So that's step one, is create those files into a folder. Just remember where that is, I suppose. Okay, then the second thing is to then go to Archicad and actually put a picture frame onto this wall here, and then edit the picture frame so that it's as big as you want it to be. And then the third step is to then change the image so it's the image that you want to go onto it. All right, so let's go have a look at the picture frame, and the best way to do that is to go to the object toolbox, open the object toolbox. And the easiest way to find the picture is to simply type picture in the search bar here, and picture 23 then should appear. Now yours might look slightly different to mine. Mine I have edited a little bit beforehand. So what I might try to show you is a couple of ways of manipulating this preview before you get it into the picture, into the file I should say. So first of all, I'm going to choose, rather than a picture without a frame, I'm going to choose one with a simple frame. And the reason for that is that sometimes it's confusing as to what's the front and what's the back of the picture frame. If I choose simple frame, you can see here there's actually a frame thickness, and if it's flush at the back, means that's the back of it. And if you've got this little step down in the frame, that means that's the front of the frame. So if I say I coded that, and then I go 2D on my first floor, I'm going to put the picture on this face here, which happens to be this face here I want to put it onto. Well, I want to orientate this picture so that it's in the correct position before I insert it. I could rotate it later on, but I think it's easy if you get it in the right spot first. So simple frame, and then I'm going to use this rotation tool, and you can see now there's the back is on the right hand side and the front is on the left hand side. So I'll click OK, and then you'll also notice here before I click OK that at the moment the insertion is set to the first floor. So depending upon what floor you want to put it onto, depending which one you choose here. And then these, of course, are the size of the actual picture frame itself. At the moment, it's 500 by 660, and looks like it's 10 millimeters in thickness. So just click OK, and then come to a point somewhere on this wall and click once, and then zoom in. Now you'll see what's happened here is that my insertion point was in the top left corner, which means that this picture frame now is inside the wall. If I go 3D, you'll see it should be, you can see it there. It's actually stuck inside the wall, which is what we don't want. So back to 2D and select the frame. Click and hold on this corner here. Make sure you're in the drag icon and simply drag it across to now make it on the outside. Check in 3D. There it is there. All right, so now we're going to stretch this thing in a horizontal and vertical distance to make it take up most of that wall. So rather than guessing, let's use the measure tool. I'm going to click in between these posts perhaps, one there, excuse me, and two, so that's 5,800. So let's go 5 meters in length, and what have we got in height there? About 1,800 high. So let's go 5 meters by 1,600, that'll do. escape to get out of measure. And now I'm going to select the picture, and you can see here I can go into its settings like so and change the sizes here, or if I can see that in my info box, I can change the sizes there as well. So let's use the info box settings. Let's use its length. We said 5 meters. That's 5,000 millimeters. Its height was 1800 was a total height. So let's go, I don't know, 1600. And I'll leave that at 10. And at the moment, I'm going to leave this distance of 3 meters down to the project 0 just to see what happens. Let's click OK. All right, that's not too bad, but obviously this position here needs to change. We need to move that up. Now, I've had limited success in trying to do this, maneuver these around in 3D. I'd suggest you go back to 2D, zoom out, and you can see here I've got to move that picture frame up to there. So I'm going to zoom in on this corner, click and hold that, make sure I'm in the drag tool, which that was that one there. Zoom out, and I'm going to place that right up in that corner there. One. Let's check the other end. Oh, okay, there's a fair bit of distance there, so actually I might move that down a little bit. Try to get it even. That'll do. Just make sure it's sitting on the outside of the wall, which it is. Okay, that's good. Let's go to 3D and have a look at that. And that'll do me for now. You could muck around getting that to whatever size you want it to be. Now, at this point, you might say, well, I don't want this to look like a picture frame. I actually want it to look more like a billboard. So what you could do now is, rather than have it set picture frame, simple frame, you could probably turn that frame off, or you could even maybe just make these values 0, I suppose. I might try doing that. That should work. Let's have a look, click OK. Yeah, cool, so 0 and 0. All right, so the last thing to do is just to edit this image and make it something that we want it to be. Open the object, and you can see this little tab says Use Custom Picture. Click on Use Custom Picture, and then this box, Custom Picture Name, appears. Click on the arrow beside it, and what it will do then, it should directly then open up the folder that you had with any of your JPEGs, that sort of stuff in it. So I can then select any of these pictures to then appear onto that, that picture frame. If these files don't appear automatically by clicking on that arrow there, what you have to do is you actually have to go back to Finder and copy that name exactly, like literally overscore it and copy it and paste it into this box here. But it should work like this. So let's put in the Quicksilver JPEG and then click OK, and there it is there. Now, what's maybe a little bit misleading here is that JPEG actually did have a big white border around it. So in actual fact, the picture has taken up the entire frame that I had there. As an example of another one, if I go and let's go Surf Lifesaving, let's see what this one here is. So there you go. There you can see that the picture basically tries to fit itself in as big as it can into that frame. So sometimes you've got to manipulate the image a little bit before you bring it in, or you could manipulate this frame here to make it longer, depending on whether you want to stretch or shorten the actual image. Okay, so then that's not looking too bad. Let's just see what that looks like in a render document, creative imaging, and photo rendering settings. Let's just turn on our most quickest way, outdoor daylight fast, and I'm just going to turn that background to off just so that there is nothing going to take up any time. Click on the little preview box with these new M1 chips. It happens pretty quick. Yeah, and you can see that's looking fairly realistic and fairly good. Okay, that's the basics. Hopefully that's going to help you make your designs look a whole lot more realistic, and then you'll be able to impress the clients.